Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name's Wendy. I'm your host. Last week I did a all or nothing episode to help you eliminate the mental angst that goes along with not achieving something that you set an intention to do. So hopefully you tuned into that and you can see how I'm navigating my intention. This week I saw something on TV which is disturbing to me. No, look, I don't fully understand it, but here's my take on this type of thing anyway. It was a sleep tracker, I think in the form of a phone, a watch, sorry. I just believe we need to get back to basics when we're doing anything in life. Like we are living, breathing organisms. We're not meant to have electronics and processed foods and people telling us what we should be doing and all these things to interfere with our physical and mental bodies. So if you're having sleep issues, why? If you don't know why, I did a podcast on some helpful tips for sleep recently, but I'll share my own story here today. I don't agree with any sleep tracking devices at all. It's a little bit like Dr. Google because there is so much information out there. And again, it's a little bit like the all or nothing. How many of us look at a sleep tracker and we haven't slept as well as what we did the day before, or even the last few hours of our sleeping night or the first few hours. And then we start taking it all into our mental brain and we start, thinking, well, what's wrong with us? Why is that happening to me? Am I the only person it happens to? I've always had a sleeping problem. I'm never going to get past this. I'm never going to have a good night's sleep. I just don't know how to have a good night's sleep. I'll just keep tracking my sleep pattern and then maybe I'll take it to a doctor and they can prescribe me a sleeping pill or something else that will knock me out. So that was pretty negative. So, so sorry. I didn't have a very good sleep last night, but I was a bit cold. I had another late night and I don't sleep well when I have late nights. I knew I had to get up early, so that was probably playing on my mind a little bit. So if I had a sleeping tracker on, what would that have done? It would have just shown me all of those bits and possibly shown me some more negative side of my sleep. And then it would have made me feel like, oh my gosh, that's happening as well. Oh dear. No, I don't like all of that. Okay. We've got to get back to really basic stuff, people. We really do. Like, you could have a trauma years ago even, or even 5 minutes ago, and you think that you've gotten over it, but that could be impacting your sleep for a long, long time, but you don't realize that it is. Okay. Your everyday lifestyle could be impacting your sleep. You really need to look really hard at what is going on. You could be like my all or nothing episode. You could have set a few intentions for what you want to achieve, but you're thinking about it in the all or nothing. You're not doing the all or nothing thought pattern. You're thinking about it, well, it's got to be all or nothing. and you're failing at it. And what can you do? All of these heighten your nervous system, your sensitivity in your nervous system, and they impact your sleep immensely. And like I said, I've done a podcast on this before. There's lots of factors that can interrupt sleep. Even continually talking about how I didn't sleep well, I'm not sleeping well. All of that is really negatively impacting on your whole body that you won't. Like I'm so adamant that the more you talk about what's not happening, the more it's going to not happen. Okay? How about you flip the talk? So, I don't know, you wake up, you feel crap. You haven't had a good night's sleep. Don't say it. Don't tell anybody. Even lie about it if you have to. Unless you're seeking medical attention for this. I mean, this is just common sense. If you're seeking medical attention for something, then of course you're gonna have to tell, play it out exactly how it happened. I'm just talking in general. So a few examples for me. Sometimes years ago, I used to have a coffee after dinner, and I'd say, no, it doesn't impact on my health or my sleep at all. I never used to be able to go to sleep really early, like really quickly, I should say. And then I'd sort of wake up feeling a little bit groggy, but no, I slept all night. I also had young children that I had to tend to through the night, I guess, as well. But that's another story. So the coffee always said, no, it doesn't impact my sleep until I didn't drink it. Even though you believe something is not impacting on your sleep, then until you stop doing it, you won't know. So you really have to do these sorts of tests if you want to use that word, to find out what impacts you and not what other people are telling you. Like, sure, I've got lots of things that have helped me or not helped me out there. And like I say, caffeine's one of them. Maybe your body doesn't do well with caffeine in the sleep department, realistically. You think that it does, but it doesn't. I mean, if you're one that is constantly having bad night's sleeps, I think maybe caffeine would be the first one that you take out of your diet. You don't need a sleep tracker, an electronic form of sleep tracker, to tell you that you're not having a good night's sleep. Unless a medical professional wants to track your sleeping habits, perfectly fine. But in general, what are you going to do with that information unless you're taking it to a medical professional? How is it making you feel mentally because you're not having that good night's sleep? Okay. So if I wake up and I haven't had a really great night's sleep, which is not common for me, I don't think too much about it. I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes I'm like, I was a bit cold, or, this, whatever. And then I do something to make it better the next day. Okay. Stress, if you've got heightened state of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, you're overthinking, all of those things, if you're, you snore a lot, you've got sleep apnea, all of those things can impact your sleep immensely. And of course, the medical conditions you need to address for your well-being. But I'm just concerned about the more things that we get given to track things, the more implications it can have, especially on our mental health. I really don't see any good in it at all. unless you go, well, not unless, I don't see any good in it at all. If you're not having sleep, if you're not having good night's sleep, go to a sleep clinic. Okay. Alrighty, so that's enough about that. I don't believe in sleep tracking devices or whatsoever. I just think it impacts negatively on your mental health, and it also exacerbates the trouble that you're having. Because, like I said, the more you say that you've had a crap night's sleep, and you don't sleep very well and you struggle sleeping, all of that, honestly, your body takes that on board. Your cells, we are living, breathing organisms. It all impacts on our health. I mean, I've spoken about that before. You only have to feel sometimes stress. You can get it in your neck, your shoulders. So if you're feeling stressed and your body can feel it, like by showing you pain, well, then what do your thoughts do? Okay, I'll see you next week for another exciting episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. Bye for now.